Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, holla at your boy. It's Jeremy Alexander Newsom. I'm back. I love it. Thank you so much for letting me have a vacation. Appreciate it. You guys rock. I will say a lot of you were very kind with your text messages and emails while I was gone. Thank you for the warm wishes, kind thoughts. You guys are amazing. I do want to say publicly right now, Brad Reed, thanks so much for what you did, man. I appreciate it. I got a lot of raving reviews and comments. I loved his stock reviews. I thought, honestly, they were spot on. Pretty much, he can replace me, so I can just leave at any time. Brad just pretty much going to get fired now. I'm replaceable. Brad, you did an amazing job. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I love the analysis. I love the perspective, and I'm kind of with him. Honestly, I think that this is really very similar to probably what we will get soon. Honestly, I think this little time frame right here is pretty similar to this little time frame, more or less, and this gap is similar to this gap, and we're probably at that candle potentially on the smaller scheme of things. Doesn't have to be the case, but that's what I think. Karen in the afternoon trading floor was mentioning just a few moments ago that usually the market doesn't, if the Olympics are in August and the market's going up, the market doesn't go down until the Olympics are over, which is going to be Sunday, I believe. So next week, I'm not saying the market will pull back, but it makes sense to me if we continue a little bit higher and then next week or the tail end of August, we do start getting a small pullback. And when I say a pullback, something of this magnitude. Something that looks like this, feels like this, maybe does it like that. And I'd be all about buying the bounce again. And right on, right? Have a good time. We made another higher high on the SPY. That's really all that matters. So things are looking nice. Really, ultimate target is 222.81 before a larger retracement does occur. But we could just pause here at this 219 for the 9 area. So bottom line, here's what I guess you all want to know on the SPY. I don't have any positions short term or long term. I'm waiting for it to do something. Preferably, the higher it goes, the better some other swing trades will do, I would assume. And then when it does have a little bit of a healthy pullback, I will look to get into something at that point, maybe calls, shares, put sales, something like that. And depending on if the candles and the reversal patterns are there, I might play a little bit of bearish action as it pulls back, potentially. But that's pretty much what I've got at the moment on the SPY. I think a Santa Claus rally, or maybe I could call it a Jack-o'-lantern rally, will occur in October coming into the election, and the election is just a giant question mark in my opinion. I really do not know what's going to happen, but I'll be pretty nimble and relatively cash heavy going into that. IWM, we talked about the IWM about 2 weeks ago, trading bullish after this tweezer bottom candle, had a nice little pullback and bounce. And so that was a really good move for anyone who's playing some call options on the Russell. That's moving nicely. Let's talk about the Qs. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about the Q. Here is the green box and this the green box. Same distance as this and this. So these waves are other times in history when people were saying, oh, the Qs can't go any higher. They got to pull back and it's got to happen anytime soon. And they did that from, pretty much the last leg of that move. Honestly, I mean, we're 50 cents away from that high. So this green box is the exact same length as this wave, and these are just 2 times previously when the Qs got really, really extended. And yes, they both did have pullbacks coming. So I'm not saying that we're going to get some bearish momentum soon, but it's a very good possibility that we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. It could be a healthy pullback. I will see about playing the bearish move. There's a lot of people who want to play it bearish. I'm not bearish yet. I'll put it to you that way. I'm hoping the Qs go higher because if the Qs go higher, then more than likely Apple will be leading its way. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to go ahead and say this trade traded to the targets while I was gone. And it is, as of today, Apple unequivocally my most profitable, best trade from all aspects of all numbers of measurement that I've ever placed ever. Amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. So excited about it. A lot of traders made a lot of money on Apple. I can't even begin to name all the list of names. We have been, / I have been waiting for this gap that occurred on Apple for the last year. And when it happened, I think we all took full advantage of this thing. I am in September 110 calls. I'm no longer in my 105 August. 105 August trade to my target at 108. Those things, I believe, quadrupled in value. Very, very good move on the 105 options. Huge, huge game. And the last 3 or 4 days, I believe, on Apple was a flag. The 10 exponential propping it up. And I think we continue. There's a gap right here that I do think is going to get filled. The low of that candle, 109.73. If Apple hits 112, it will again, since I've been in September 110 call option since back about here. This entire move, I'm not saying it will occur, but there's no way I'm going to lose. I can't lose on Apple from this point. Even if Apple opened tomorrow at like 106, I'd still be okay. It's amazing. Just so excited, so happy, totally amped, ready for the next adventure, which is apparently going to be Aruba in February. So Apple paid for that trip. And speaking of the next trip, if anyone is in New Orleans and you're hearing my voice, let me know. Already got plans to meet up with a buddy, Derek, on Saturday in New Orleans. We're having the Le Masters Fantasy Football Draft. If you don't know what the Le Master Fantasy Football Draft is, I'll explain it to you plainly. It is the greatest and best and most intense fantasy football league that exists. Maybe not quite. It's pretty intense, though. A bunch of my Gator buddies from UF. We're going to go to New Orleans, do a live draft. That's this weekend. Leaving Friday, coming back Sunday night late. And yeah, so anyway, that's going to be New Orleans. And then I don't know what else, other trip. Oh, yes. And then I have Montreal in September. So if anyone is in Montreal, let me know. I'll be traveling up there Labor Day weekend. Speaking of traveling, probably should have had this pulled up, but let me show you the Alaska map. The cruise went amazing. It was very relaxing. Had an absolute blast. Truly was spectacular and all around wonderful. It was great to hang out with a lot of traders in Seattle and meet a lot of new people on the cruise. Had a very, very good time. And hey, let's start planning the next one, shall we? So here's kind of what happened. Here's Seattle and here's Victoria. So Seattle landed our Friday, sailed out Saturday, and did this. Where's Juneau? I'm not zoomed out far enough. Let me zoom out a little bit farther. Okay, so here's Juneau. So we went from Seattle to Juneau. Took about a day and a half. And then went up Glacier Bay, which was really beautiful. Truly some of the most breathtaking scenery that I've ever seen in my life. Trade down through here, went to Sitka, and then Ketchikan, and then over here to Victoria, and then boom to Seattle. So trading I think we traveled like 2,700 nautical miles, something like that. It rained the majority of the time, but yeah, it was a great trip. Truly was. I'm about to go to the gym to try to work out a little bit more of this weight. I don't know if I gained weight or not, but I can say that I ate most of my Apple winnings in chocolate cake. It was had a lot of chocolate cake. Went to the casino, lost an R, a very healthy one, and yeah, I had a good time. It was very relaxing, a lot of fun, met a lot of great people. So hey, let's go on the next one. I don't know when the next cruise is or where it's going to be, but I'm excited for it. So anyway, there's Apple. Here's Netflix, and I mean, let's not forget Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. We also had some solid trades on Netflix, and here's my analysis back on really the 4th or 3rd of August, something like that. But I got into some calls here on Netflix, and I mentioned that Netflix should pop by end of day Friday. This right here was Friday. That was the day I was in Seattle on the 5th of August. It did pop. It did trade into my target and absolutely wrecked it on Netflix as well. So I think Brad Golson did really good on Netflix. I think I know Dean Chance is doing good. A lot of traders and put sales. So Netflix and Apple, those two trades combined have made my 2016. Just incredible trades. Really excited about that. I don't trade that well that often, but when I do, it counts, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm waiting for the cues to calm down. I'm looking for Netflix to pop again bullish but hopefully it rests here a little bit, trades sideways, and then does this. If it can do that, I'll be looking to get into probably $100 call options for September, October, depending on when it happens. But there's a lot out there to be looking at for sure. FCX looks really good. Nice little morning star here. Here's the morning star. Today's the new white soldier. I have a lot of traders and coaching students who like to track FCX. Been waiting for this one to break out. I do like it longer term, but shorter term, if it's going to pop, I think this is kind of the time for it to do so. So feel free to keep an eye on FCX, up 2.9% today. A few other trades that I'm in, just as an update, Las Vegas Sands in 5250 calls. Been in those for about a week and a half. That's looking good. CHK in September, 550 calls. That's playing out really good. Great volume, great gap coming in. Hopefully CHK continues, but put this one on your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Great move today, and this thing could really, really run. So I'll be watching CHK very, very closely. Here's Facebook, ticker symbol FB. Facebook is doing what Facebook does. Again, take a picture of this after earnings, and that's probably what we're going to get. Some variation or form of that. Obviously, it's not going to be exact, but something to that extent. Stands and put sales, runs and covered calls of the shares. It's just hanging out, Facebook is. So more bullish to neutral, but otherwise very, very light edge. Just to update some swing trades that Brad was looking at. Here's Fitbit. A lot of traders in Fitbit bullish, and they're pretty happy and they're making money. Gray analysis, Mr. Brad Reed. Phenomenal gap. This is the candle that started the whole thing. He started tracking it, pulled back into the 10, and bounced very, very nicely. So Steven Jackson, Sam, a few others in Fitbit. Square, ticker symbol SQ, we got triggered in today on Square at 11:51. Stop at 10:84 on Square. Apple, just went over that one. Google and Amazon, I don't have anything right now on Google and Amazon other than they're majestically bullish, and I'm waiting for a little bit more of a rest before I take anything on Amazon or Google. Very, very good trends, very bullish. I want a little bit more of a pullback than a bounce, again, because the Qs are approaching an incredibly strong resistance, as is the market. So I'm being very cautious on taking a lot of bullish trades here. CHK and Las Vegas Sands, I've been in bullish along with Apple. The only new thing is triggering is Square, ticker symbol SQ. So I'm not going to be adding a lot of positions. Most of them are going to have stops, and I hope Apple, and I think Apple hits 112 in the next 2 weeks. And if that happens, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know exactly how I'm going to celebrate, but I am. It's going to be amazing. All right, anyway, there's Amazon. Here is Tesla. Tesla looks pretty boring, honestly. Last time I looked at it, after this nice white candle came in on earnings, I mentioned a trigger above that. One could get into a bull put spread. If you did, it's looking decent. Any spread below the 200 simple moving average, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll find out. It's bullish to neutral, Tesla is, at least in my opinion. Very, very flat, and I don't really have anything else for it yet. Any good gap or good move, something like this would be open above here would be great, but other than that, bull put spread looks like it's going to be fine. Speaking of bull put spread, here's the XLE, which is the energy sector, had the 62.61 credit spread. That's a 14% return. We filled on that on the 7th of July. That's going to go to options heaven this Friday. Lending Club, ticker symbol LC. Last but not least for me today, this one did take a long time. I added to some Lending Club yesterday. Very, very strong bearish gap. I mentioned I did not think this was going to be the end of Lending Club. It did have a nice bearish move into here, but this is a nice, gorgeous accumulation, good volume, and we have now closed above the high of that gap. So I do expect Lending Club to continue higher. Adam, great trade on this one, buddy. Good job locking in some gains. Lending Club up nicely. Investment on it, doing well. Excited about it. Again, mentioned back in May, a little bit of a longer term kind of a feel, but that one's looking good also. So bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to be back. I'm going to see you beautiful people Wednesday. The Trading Summit, Trading Mastery Summit does start tomorrow. Check your emails. We'll be sending you a lot. Make sure to register. If you have any questions, let me know. A lot of good traders talking about a lot of important intel. You're going to love it. Be there or be a rectangle. I'll see you later. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.